Princess Caliph sat alone in the royal gardens of Zerthaz, her silver tears leaving trails down her violet skin. Around her, the bioluminescent flowers swayed in the artificial breeze, their beauty lost on her. "No one wants me," she whispered to the empty air. She wasn't wrong. 27 suitors from the most powerful families in the Galactic Union had rejected her over the past cycle. Not because she was unkind or unintelligent. Quite the opposite. Princess Caliph was brilliant, compassionate, and genuinely cared about her people's welfare. The problem was her biology. Zerthosian royalty carried a genetic anomaly. They could only bond once in their lifetime. One partner, one love, permanent and irreversible at the biological level. Once bonded, they became physically ill if separated from their mate for too long. It was romantic in theory, devastating in practice. No noble wanted that responsibility. No ambitious suitor wanted to be locked into a bond that could never be broken, even if love faded. They all made excuses and left, one after another, until Caliph stopped believing anyone would ever choose her. "Your Highness." She looked up to find Jake Morrison standing at the garden entrance, wiping grease from his hands with a rag. The human mechanic who'd been hired to repair the palace's aging environmental systems. He'd been working here for 3 months, always polite, always focused on his job. "I'm sorry," she said quickly, wiping her tears. "I didn't mean to disturb you. This is your break time. You're not disturbing me." He approached carefully, as if she were something fragile. "I heard you crying. Are you okay?" The genuine concern in his voice broke something inside her. "I'm Phoenix, just facing reality." "What reality is that?" "That I'll be alone forever." The words spilled out before she could stop them. "I'm turning 25 next month. By Zerthosian law, if I'm not bonded by then, I must abdicate. My younger sister will become heir, and I'll be sent to the outer colonies where no one knows who I am." Jake sat down on the bench beside her, keeping a respectful distance. "Why would you have to abdicate?" "Because a ruler who cannot secure an alliance through bonding is considered weak. Because no one wants to bond with someone like me." Her voice cracked. "We bond for life, you see. One partner, permanent, irreversible. It's too much commitment. Everyone says they understand, but then they leave." "That doesn't sound weak to me," Jake said quietly. "That sounds like the most committed thing I've ever heard." Caliph laughed bitterly. "You're kind to say so. I'm not being kind. I'm being honest." He turned to face her fully. "On Earth, we make promises all the time. Marriage vows, for instance. Till death do us part. We say the words, but we don't always mean them. Divorce rates are high. People change their minds." He paused. "But you can't change a mind. When you bond, you mean it absolutely. That's not weakness, Your Highness. That's the most terrifying kind of courage." She stared at him, her luminescent eyes wide. "You really believe that, Ido?" He smiled softly. "In fact, I think it's beautiful. Knowing that when you choose someone, it's real. No doubts, no escape clauses. Just complete, absolute commitment. But that's exactly why no one wants. I want." The words hung in the air between them. Calith's breath caught. "What?" Jake set down his rag, his expression serious. "I want, if you'll have me. I know I'm just a mechanic. I know I'm human and you're royalty, and there's a million reasons why this is crazy. But I've watched you for 3 months. I've seen how you thank the cleaning staff by name. How you stopped the council from cutting funding to the lower district schools. How you actually care." He reached out, stopping just short of touching her hand. "I grew up with nothing, Your Highness. My dad left when I was 6. My mom worked 3 jobs. I learned early that commitment means something. And if you're looking for someone who understands that when you make a promise, you keep it, then yeah, I do. I want this. I want you." Calith's tears flowed freely now, but they were different. "You understand what you're saying? Once we bond, you can never leave. You'll be tied to me for the rest of your life. I understand. You'll have to become royalty, learn our customs, deal with court politics. I can learn. The council will fight this. They'll say you're unsuitable. Let them." His smile widened. "I'm pretty good at fixing broken things, Your Highness. And your system isn't broken. It's just been waiting for someone who actually means it when they say forever." Caliph laughed through her tears, a sound of disbelief and hope intertwined. You're absolutely insane. Probably. He finally took her hand, and she felt the warmth of his skin against hers. So what do you say, princess? Will you bond with a crazy human mechanic who thinks lifetime commitment is a feature, not a bug? She looked at him, really looked at him. Not a noble seeking power, not an ambitious suitor calculating advantage. Just a man who understood the value of a promise and was brave enough to mean it. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I will. The bioluminescent flowers around them suddenly blazed brighter, responding to the surge of emotion. Jake stood and pulled her to her feet, and Princess Caliph of Zerthaz realized that sometimes the right person isn't the one everyone expects. Sometimes it's the one brave enough to say, I do, and actually mean it forever.